Okay, so hi everyone, welcome to the website's call. We always begin the call with the introduction of our newest members. So if there's anyone on the call who's attending the website's call for the first time, please feel free to introduce yourself to everyone in the community. So a lot of familiar faces, but Jacob, is this your first website's call? Is this the first time you're here? If you want, you can tell us a bit about yourself, about what brings you here, what you work with, anything you'd like.
Good day. I work with React, and I'm here to contribute to open source. I want to know how it works and how I can bring impact to the community.
Thank you, Jacob. Welcome to the community. Anyone else who's attending the call for the first time? So for everyone else who's on the call, I'll share the meeting minutes in the chat. So if you have any agenda items to discuss today, you can add them in. And please add your names in the attendees list as well. Okay, so I don't see any other newcomers today. I think we can start with the call. So first up, there's a new website request for service mesh patterns. So before we begin with the website, we need a design for it. So I've created an issue, and I think Shubhra, I don't think he's on the call today, but he signaled that he wants to work on the design. But since it's a completely new website, any one of you on the call who is a little familiar with UI UX design, you can collaborate with him or try your hands designing this. So basically you'll have to follow our brand colors mostly, but it could be a little bit different. But once we have your design, we can probably decide on the theme and the colors that we want to use. The main idea will be the website will be dedicated for now only to the service mesh patterns book. So you can search for some example websites on the net. So basically it'll be about something similar to this. It'll be a single page, a very simple website dedicated for that. It will be hosted on the service mesh patterns repository. And I've added all the links in the issue. You can use Figma for making your designs. So if anyone who's interested, you can signal, you can collaborate, or you can work on your own. And yeah, that's it. We have a design request up here. So anyone on the call here who is interested, you can volunteer right now, or you can just comment on the issue if you want. So once, the plan is once we have a designer, at least the themes and everything ready, so we can start with the initiation of the app, and you can, all of us on the call here, we can take up some parts of it and take this forward. So hopefully by the next call, we'll have something to start with. So if anyone's interested, you can go ahead and take a look. Yeah. Next up, we have, okay, so you must have seen this Docker extension page. So since this page is now being linked to from our, it's linked on the navbar, it has become a pretty important page now. So this needs some rework. It does not look as pretty as the other pages on the site. So we need design for this as well. And more importantly, this needs a the link to the extension marketplace, and basically a section to guide people to how to get the Docker extension up and running in their system. Since it's published and it's readily available, more than the form, it's how people can access the Docker extension. So this page also needs a little bit of rework. So again, anyone who's good with design, or if you just want to experiment with the page yourself without a design, you can go ahead and try your hands at this. So these are two design requests that we have. And this one, right now, we'll I think just a link, maybe a call out type of a thing with a button will do to guide people to the extension marketplace, but this will need some designs, new designs as well. Right, so okay, just taking a quick look. Is there anyone who's attending the website's call for the first time? I see Shreyash has joined. Shreyash, is this the first time of you attending the call?
Hi, it's not actually Shreya, it's Shan here. Hello guys, hello everyone.
If you want, you can introduce yourself. Tell us what brings you here and what.
Yeah, I'll just quickly change my name first because I did not realize just a minute.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, it's Shan. So hello everyone, I am Ishan. I am currently in my first year. I'll be in my second year shortly. This is my final sem for the first year, and I'm a student in AI Systems College of Engineering, Pune, Maharashtra, India. And yeah, glad to be here.
Thank you, Shan. Welcome to the community. Okay, so I'm sorry I got distracted there. Moving on, we have Sahil's topic. Sahil is on the call. He was on the call.
Yeah, am I audible? Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, just give me a minute.
You want to share your screen, right?
Yeah. I think I can't share my screen.
If you're sharing it for the first time on Zoom, you might have to give permissions or something.
Guys, I'm using Ubuntu, so oh yeah, just give me. Just give me a minute, like portion, like whole screen, where is it? Could you please tell me from where I can share my whole screen instead of a portion? Hello.
Like you should have the options available when, like for me, when I click on share screen button, it shows me share your desktop or share your browser.
Like I'm using Ubuntu, so I'm saying only whiteboard. You can share whiteboard or a portion of a screen.
Are you using Zoom Web?
Sorry?
Are you using Zoom Web or an app?
Okay.
If you're using Zoom Web, then it only restricts to certain portion of the app.
Okay. Wait, can you just move ahead like into someone else's show? Meanwhile, I will fix that. Is that okay with you?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so next up, I have two very short topics, so I'll just quickly share them. So we wanted to increase the internal links to the MeshMap page. So for that, I've used Nikhil's rotational framework that he recently made, and I've added it to the resources articles, like basically everything on resources. So I've used the bottom one and I've used it, like imported it for all the news articles. And this is how it looks. One minor addition that I've made is just added a heading here. So I hope this looks good. And I've also used this on the events page as well, like the single events. And for the blog, like right now it's not merged yet, but I think Elizabeth was working on a about the author section. So that has a link to MeshMap. So I've not added it over here yet. So once that gets merged, we'll have all the blogs directing to the MeshMap page. And for news, for news, since I recently added a sidebar sort of a thing for downloading press kits and the media contact, I've added it over here itself. So it's a bit different, but like this is just for news for now. So views on this, you guys think this looks good? Like, is this good to go? My PR is up, so if this is fine,
The call out can use some padding. Call out in the blogs and other areas.
the the bottom,
The rotational filter
yeah. So
that
you
could use
think we
some
use
padding.
it on blogs as well?
I'm seeing the call out that you have added, the using the rotational framework that could use some padding around the complete, like the text as well as the image.
I'm a little confused.
The padding around the complete content that
Okay,
is
the
from
image.
the corner to corner. Yeah. Having some padding would do. Rest all looks fine. Some initial padding might have been there already, wasn't it?
So one thing was over here, the image, you had a cover field for the image. So that was working fine with the previous example image that you had. Once I added this icon, it was like not fitting in. So I changed it to contain and there was no padding.
Okay, got it. Also, I think the image is not vertically aligned. No, it is. It is.
Yeah,
I'll take a look at the PR, and if I see any other CSS changes also are required, I'll let it know that.
okay. Another thing is for the resources thing, this is basically an organization. Like I've added all the articles to a separate folder. Otherwise, since we have a separate folder for tutorials and webinars. And one more thing I've done is I've added dates to the resources. We don't display the dates in the front end, but I've added it because the order was very random, and I wanted the recent posts to be displayed first, like on the first page. So for that, like behind the scenes, I've added the date, and I've added two new products, MeshMap and the Docker extension. So yeah, these are quick updates for the resources pages. So I hope the date thing makes sense, because otherwise it was very random. It was like the oldest of the blogs which are not relevant right now, they were getting displayed first. So valid dates right now. Yeah, so that was all from my side. Any views, anything, any feedback from you guys? Cool. So you guys can review the two PRs if you want, and let's move on with Harshit's huge PR. So Harshit, do you want to share your updates real quick?
Yes, of course. I'm sharing my screen. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My screen visible? Hello.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So as a couple of weeks, I was working in a layer 5 task team. So it is done now. I'm done with all the functionalities, and I think it's reviewed by contributors. So basically, the big changes here is that in a previous PR, we are having a problem that we are filling the uh, our style sheet. Basically, we have to create a new variable for a particular color. So basically, I changed it like this. We don't have to now create a variable. We just have to add this, that if the we have in a dark theme, choose this color. If it is not, choose this color. And this is the, I think, the customization. We moved from centralization to customization here, and I think it's perfect. The PR is ready. We don't having a flashing problem, so it's ready to merge. But I still request a final review for this so that we can merge this basically. Any questions?
The colors that you have added for switching from dark mode to light mode, can't those be added to variables as well? just like we
Okay.
have for other colors, like tertiary green. We have tertiary, primary, and secondary colors defined in the app.style.js. Can't we have same for the dark theme as well?
Okay. Let me tell you how this dark theme working basically, so that we can get a clear idea that what's happening here. That first we was just filling this shade for each color basically, but now that you can see that I have added some of the shadows here, some of the things that some of the colors that we need basically are added, but just some colors that we using in a dark theme should be added. I think it's necessary. I will add those.
Uh, what I'm trying to say is, if you go back to that style.js file, that is route maintenance.style.js file,
Okay,
for
this file.
example, uh, just the one before it.
Hmm.
Okay, one another before it. That style.js file. Yeah.
Okay, this one.
So here, where you are switching from gray to the other color, that is, for
Hmm.
example, polygon.cs.-3. There you are defining gray and some other color, right? I think we have a variable for gray as well. I just don't remember the color, but we have uh, variables defined for these colors. Like for example, we have a couple of different varieties of green, and we have
Okay.
names defined for each of them. That is primary, secondary, tertiary, as well as
Hmm.
Caribbean or jungle green, for example.
I actually am aware of that, but the problem will be there that we have to add for each variable, like for a dark theme, because its working is related to this, that we have to add this variable here and this here, and we have to select each color for them. It's as working. Are you getting my
I
point?
don't think we need to add the same color at both the places. Like since it's all both of them are exported under props, having calling out any one of them would be
Okay,
like,
then.
for
Okay, okay,
example, if you go to blocks, blocks
okay, okay,
sections slash log.
okay. Wait a second. Block.js, this one.
No, yeah. Okay, consider this example. Okay, here we
Hmm.
are defining the colors using the variable names. Okay, that is
Okay.
props.theme.primary light color. I'm
Hmm.
asking about the similar part, so that it keeps like the color stays consistent. And if a new contributor comes in and tries to add some other CSS or update some code, it would be easier for them as well to pick up the color.
I got
It's
your point. Just
not mandatory if it involves a lot of, because I know there are still a lot of code in the all around the repo which doesn't uses this variable concept and have the color directly written out. That is either the hash ID or the RGBA color. So if feasible, where at all you are making the changes, you could add the variables instead of the hash ID or the RGBA. That would be better. Not a compulsion at all.
okay, okay. I can, yes, I can do it. It will be easy, I guess. Yes, it will be easy. I just have to replace here and search for that color. Okay, I will do it.
Sure.
Uh, Anything else on this?
Apart from that, I will take a look at the preview and see if there are any pages which has any of the bugs. I see there are some updates from Shubhadeep and other contributors.
Yes,
And
I considered. I listened to this purchase and basically change that code and update that changes.
sure, hopefully this should do. Seeing at the changes, this will be the last one, I guess. Also, you have switched to local storage, right? From the
Yes,
other one,
yes,
which is from the cookies, I guess.
yes. We are in a local storage. I think it's here.
Ah, good, fine.
Also, one more change I want to address that we are having a problem that this banner was changing and it was not updated. It was basically changing and then again after a split second it changes it. So I basically here decided that if we have the component is not mounted full, we will not display the screen. That in a layer 5, I guess it can be spotted. No, it is not. Just as you can see here, just here. So basically, we are shifting for a split second. In this PR, I think this is also done. Yes, we are not having that mounting problem also. So this is a quick update I want to show.
Does that involve increasing the time for first display?
No,
Does
no,
that
I basically updated the code with the mounting. Let me show you. I did it to all the pages. There it is, here. It is not showing the screen until it's mounted, basically. I just did that.
okay?
So that also prevents the flash. Actually, I have also having a problem that the flash was presenting here because first it was uploading in a white, then it just flashes to the black.
Correct. Now, since you have switched to local shift, so it would be happening for all the pages. Got it.
Yes, so I think this PR is done now. Just for a sure, we want extra review for your contributors. And just done. We are done. Any reviews on this?
So far, it looks great.
For anyone who reviews, like when I was reviewing the PR, please make sure you look at the light theme as well, because since there's a lot of color change, I think I pointed out in my review that there were some things missing in the light, like the light version of it. So when you're reviewing, make sure you review both the sides. For it,
Yes, yes, I am checking all the reviews I'm getting, and I'm just changing as it goes. So yes, actually that was a minor bug. I saw that, and it was solved.
thank you, Harshit. Any other feedback for now?
Okay, wait.
So, Sahil, are you ready with your PR, or should we take a look at the other topics?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Mm.
Sahil, you're on mute if you speak. Still on mute.
I think. Mm-hmm. No, my mic is not turning on.
Your mic is on now. Sorry.
Yeah,
You are
okay.
audible.
Um, but my screen is not visible, I guess.
You don't have a PR open, do you? Where I can share the screen.
No, I don't have any PR open right now.
Okay, then just explain what you quickly did, and then you can show us.
Actually, the thing is, I don't know like in which category I should break down all the integration part, and I need to know some reviews about like is that design okay? Is something
Share
wrong?
your screen now. So now I think you can go back to that site.
Okay.
You're audible. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. This is the design I came up with. I was simply viewing service MS catalog. It has a similar design, and I just use some of it. Okay. And the only thing that I'm not getting is like in which category I should divide this. So I need suggestion about that.
Which category, as in
Like this one, you can see, right? Category one, like in the PR, it was mentioned that you should have categorized it. So, where's that? Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Integration should be categorized. That point. This I'm talking about this point. Like integration should be categorized.
Okay, so I think we'll have to ask Lee about that a little bit. One could be service meshes. I don't know how the others are categorized. I am not completely sure, but I think we can you can use dummy values for now till we get the design right.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so right now, from the first glance, the aspect ratio of some of the icons are off. I think the kind, JK, GK. Uh, I I think the aspect ratio is off, and also since we are only displaying the category and the icons, we could do I think on the issue. If you go back to the issue, Lee shared an example of uh, yeah, this picture over here, maybe something like that. Or if you go to one of the example sites, instead of just great cards, maybe yeah. So your cards are pretty long, so
Okay.
maybe a little bit more work in the design. Till then, you can use dummy categories.
Okay.
Yeah. And Sahil, you can also check out the Meshery.io site. If you scroll down and go to the getting started section, you can do something like that also instead of those cards.
Okay. Any more thing that I should know?
So right now, do these cards open up to another page, or do you display any details of any sort?
No, I don't show any details at the moment. But I'm thinking of adding a hover effect in which they can simply go to the doc page by clicking on that.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll have to work on the design a little bit. Take a look at the other examples, and
Okay.
probably we'll want to avoid the like the longer cards. Maybe something like this. This looks good enough.
This one.
Or let's see. Yeah, this one looks more compact, right? Instead of
Yeah.
the cards that we currently have. So yeah,
Okay.
and hover effect, something similar. And I think Ishan was suggesting Meshery.io get inside. Yeah, I think I got what he meant. Yeah, something like this.
Okay.
And this, the aspect ratio thing I was telling you about, see, this
Yeah.
ratio is off on your cards right now.
Yeah, the thing is like we don't have that many content for that. I can't just simply put few bunch of icons and that's it. Like I need some content to arrange everything and all that.
But we had a bunch of them in the site, on the docs page that he
In the
shared.
docs, like they are basically giving the installation guide and all that.
Uh, but I think the number of integrations, we have more than 10 service meshes. We have Docker, we have a couple of other platforms. We have all of these included along with all the other service meshes. So we should have a good number of integrations already.
Okay, I will see what I can do, and I will get back to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sahil. Next up, it's Aditya Subedi.
Yeah.
Please share your screen.
Yeah. Okay. So the first issue I was working on was to make the in the SMP dashboard to make the uh, results of the test to in a tabular form, right? Earlier we used to have buttons, so now Lee suggests that we have a similar kind of tab-like field. So I implemented that, and this is what I have. Like it does have the tab-like fields. So like, are there any changes that you would suggest?
I mean, I think the corners can be a little more rounded if possible.
Sorry.
The corners can be a little more rounded if possible.
Oh,
The corners
okay.
for the button, so that it like matches up with the entire site.
It is round, so like more round than this one.
Yeah, a little more rounder than what it is right now.
Okay.
I mean, just a suggestion.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Anything else?
The green border that you have, like on these two sides, is that intentional? Like that is by design?
Yeah. If I just put the yellow background that the borders are not showing, it didn't look like that. So I put that. If it doesn't look good, I can remove it. Or something else.
Like I was just thinking, like when the tab is active, it should be around the tab, right? Not just
like everything.
thing like that. Not everything on the like top part of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Like you can check it out how that looks. I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay.
Otherwise, this looks good.
And the second thing was the catalog updates. So finally, like I made all the PR. The catalog uses most number of possible reusable code, right? And the one thing that didn't work was the pagination thing. So I used JQuery paginate v2. This is the plugin that I used earlier for the pagination, but as seen in this error, it does not support. It is not supported by GitHub pages. So when actually we merged the code that I made, the catalog page was empty. So we had to remove it and revert back to collections only. So yeah, the pagination issue still remains because since we are displaying all the cards with Jekyll collections, we can't use JavaScript also. So yeah, that's an issue regarding the pagination. Other than that, the style updates made by Aditya and all are implemented, and the pages are all using reusable code. Yeah, so the pagination thing, I looked into it. There are no other alternatives. Like the paginate v2 also like it suggests that we locally build the site and then push it to GitHub. So I guess, but that is not what we would want. So yeah, pagination thing is where we are stuck.
Why can't we use JavaScript?
So we are using to display all the cards. We are using Jekyll collection. So like data is coming from collection. So like we can modify the DOM that what do we say DOM elements. We can't modify through JavaScript because everything is coming from collections. It's not coming from JSON file.
Okay, interrupted Nikhil.
No, I was only trying to say that you said that we have to build a site locally and then push to GitHub, right?
Yeah, this is what they suggest if you want this plugin to work in GitHub pages.
So by local, can we use GitHub Actions for it?
Right. I think we can do that. We can do some automation. Like you're suggesting some automation, right?
What I mean was like not completely use GitHub pages. We would be building the site in the GitHub action itself and just push to another branch that would host the site, just as we do for our layer 5 site. Like if you see, we don't use Netlify exactly. We build the site in the GitHub action and push it to another branch, and from that branch, the site is hosted. It's just that the domain name is added in the GitHub to use layer5.io and host the site. So maybe you could check that out. I will copy paste the link of the workflow that I'm referring to.
Okay.
Also, could we not just limit the number of collections that we show on a page and then uh, paginate, like paginate from there, like have meshery.io/catalog/2 3 and do it like that?
Yeah. I think that was the work of the plugin itself. Like this, we were limiting to some number of amount. We can't do it separately. Like we can do it for first 15. Like we only want to show the first 15, but the second
We can
15 it
we
will be
can do
different.
that from editing the config itself, right? If we put it inside the config, that should work. Should not,
You mean like uh,
like
the se-
hard code the path of the hard code the part of the collections, and then use, like, limit the number of collections that we show on our page.
uh, I can do like I have not tested the other part, but I can do the first part. Like you just want to show the first 15, we can do it from the for loop itself. But I don't know what to do with the second part. Like how will we start from 16?
Okay.
Yeah, you can take a look at the link that we shared. See if that helps.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I will. Thank you.
Okay, so where was I? Here. So another thing is, like we'll have to change, like for everyone who's on the call, if you come across our tag, like the previous tagline, which was multi-service mesh management plane for Meshery, and for Layer 5 we used a service mesh company. So we are trying to move ahead from that, since Meshery now manages Kubernetes and all sorts of cloud native stuff. So we don't want to specifically say just service mesh. So recently I just changed, like over here it said service mesh manager, I changed the banner. So if you come across that phrasing service mesh anywhere, just open up, like even this one I think should change. Like there's a couple of small places, so if you see it anywhere, just put in a fix for changing it to cloud native or just removing it wherever it makes sense. That was a quick note I wanted to share. Okay, so next up we have some docs issues, but I think I informed them the last minute and they haven't joined. So I'll quickly show the updates. So this is one of the integrations, Sahil, that I was talking about. KubeSphere, like we recently added Meshery as an app on the KubeSphere App Store. So that part is done. I think Srinivas, he was working on adding the documentation on their website itself. So that PR was merged recently. So on the KubeSphere documentation, we have the guidelines, the steps to install Meshery on KubeSphere, and I think this looks pretty good. So one request was to add the same thing on our docs page as well. So Alok was working on it. So I think Srinivas has reviewed the code as well. So we'll just give a quick review and see how this is. Yep, here. So both of these are basically the same thing for now. So I think this looks good. I'll just take a quick look at the code, or if anyone else on the call you want to review, you can go ahead and do that. This was one quick update. Another update was, again, the thing I was talking about on the layer 5 site, adding Docker marketplace, the Docker extension marketplace guidelines on the layer 5 side, and we wanted on our docs as well. On our docs, a more stepwise guide, and for the layer 5 side, we just want people to we want them to get directed to that place. So I think he has added it to the marketplace as well. Sorry, to our docs. Docker extension. Using Docker desktop, here's the guide for the marketplace. So I think this will need some more steps, as to like one more step maybe showing the install button. So yeah, I think Aditya, like there should be more steps to it, right? Using Docker desktop. Aditya, like
Yeah, there's one more step.
yeah. So like you can go review and tell him that. I think one or two more steps should be there. Okay. So Ishan has just added this topic. Ishan, do you want to go ahead with this? You want to share your screen?
No, I actually don't have my laptop with me right now, but I actually needed some suggestions. So basically, while setting up, I'm audible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, when when I was setting up Meshery.io's code on my local environment, I noticed some glitches, like known glitches, where the commands wouldn't run, or the curl command would fail a lot of times during installing RVM as well as during installing Ruby. So I needed suggestions on where to, if we are going to include that in our documentation, where can we include it? Or I mean, is it necessary that, because RVM is something which is not related to it is not that related to setting up Meshery.io in the local system. And when it comes to the most required documentation, it is not that required. It can be good to have if someone's facing those glitches.
Where were you facing these glitches? On Windows, right?
Yeah, on Windows. Yeah, also right. Thanks for pointing that out. Make also has a lot of problems on Windows, as Windows users might know. So I was planning on including all of them in the documentation, but I don't know where to start. I mean, on the docs.meshery.io, or in the readme, or in the contributing.md.
So I think even I used to use Windows first, and in the community drive we maintain a doc, like there's a separate documentation for Windows users. So if you could like go and first refine that doc, like with all the things you found, we can give it a quick review, and then we can decide if we should include it on the the main docs page or not. Like just draft what you want to include.
Sure, no problem. Can you just tell me where the Windows community, whatever the forum is?
I'll have to find it in the community drive. I don't think if I can do it right now.
Okay, Ishan.
Yeah, sure, continue.
Ishan, I also want to point out one thing, that something the problem is the individual computers basically. That individual system is missing some files, and that's why it's not installing RVM, not working like that. So please consider that while putting something not out.
Yeah, no, the RVM works actually, but when we install, so basically when you install RVM, you need a passcode. You need some passcode. There's some code. So basically, RVM verifies that you are installing RVM through a trusted, or like a verified source. So this code, when you have to like first save it, and then you have to tell the whatever the command line that you have saved it, and then you have to curl the repository, and it sometimes doesn't work. So in my case, what I did was, after 5 to 6 attempts, I think it was the RVM was finally on my system. But
I
yeah, I'll
think you
make
are.
sure. Sorry,
I
yeah,
think you're
continue.
talking about. I think you're talking about GPGG keys. I think that is not working. Okay,
I'm
just to put
sorry.
it. Nothing. Just put it in a docs. I will check it out then. Okay.
Sure, sure. Yeah, sure.
Okay, great.
Thanks for the link, Aditya.
Here's another doc that I found. This has some installation steps. You can like check if this is what you were talking about. If not, you can make a copy of this and start editing over there.
Yeah. Thank you for opening this documentation. So basically, this command, right? The third one, if you can see, the fourth one. Sorry, the curl command. So this one, it doesn't work. I mean, when you run this command, you get a blank so error timed out after like 30,000 milliseconds something. So basically, the site times out. So you'll have to try it 5 or 6 times. That is what I was planning to include.
Then that might be an issue with the server of rvm.io itself. Like it has nothing to do with the
Yeah, because I tried
command.
it for like
So see, that can happen with any of the a link you're using. So just adding that glitch won't work. Like it's not a glitch, it's an issue in the rvm.io site. So you might face it today, you might not face it for another year or so. So
yeah, right.
it's not worth adding as a doc.
Sure.
Ishan, I've shared this link over here. So if you still think there's some changes to make, just propose your changes. You can text on the Slack Meshery channel or maybe the blog kitchen channel, whatever.
Yeah, sure. You just share this link on the Zoom chat, and I'll just
Yeah.
go through the
Yeah.
document. And we'll make changes if necessary.
Make sure you make a copy of the draft before making the final changes.
Yeah, sure.
Uh, right. So, does anyone else have anything to talk about today? I'm not Lee, so I cannot stretch this any further.
Just one more thing. Did that memory issue get resolved after commenting out a React mode?
I don't. I just. I mean,
It failed again.
it will again. I've entered the model and the import. Do you think it could be because of uh, the MDX wrapper render or something? These are the only 4 things that I've imported.
MDX wrapper is something which we are already using. Like it is just wrapping the site, wrapping some body, and that is only happening for one of the files, right? We don't have that particular key value pair added to other files as well, right? So that shouldn't affect much.
Like for the executor block, on our members profile, I've added like since it's huge and it has paragraphs, I've added it to the body, not to the front matter. And for that, I've imported this to present it in the mobile. So it's not a front matter. That is a change in the block collection that I've made.
That's fine. If you scroll down a bit and go to .js file a bit more, where you are actually calling the comp, a bit more. Okay, I've commented out all the parts, so that shouldn't be happening. Interesting. Then I really doubt what might cause the issue. You can try even commenting out the body of the index file to see if that solves, but I really doubt because as of now we have these data in all the MDX, which is around 50 plus, and it hasn't caused any memory issue. So adding just one more field shouldn't be overclocking the memory as such. So it's weird to see that. I will try to clone that PR, like fetch that PR and build open. See if I get it.
I built it yesterday, so it built like properly. There was no issue.
Okay.
You can take a look as well. Maybe.
Sure.
Anything else today from anyone?
Yeah, hello. I just saw something on the Meshery.io site. Can you just quickly go on that and scroll down to the getting started section? Yeah. So here, do you think the with Meshery, the H2 is a little not aligned with the getting started? Like the margin should be aligned with the G or the getting started, the H1? Or it's perfect as it is? Can I annotate this? I'm talking about this part. This is not aligned with the thing.
I think it's a little off.
Yeah, that is what I meant.
You can put in a fix.
Yeah, sure, no problem. I'll do it.
Yeah. Anything else? Okay, so I think we can wrap up the call today. Thank you everyone for joining. See you all next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.